program. So thank you, Diana, for being here. I wanted to start off with just a simple question of just if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe how you found the program in the first place.
So I'm in Australia and I am in my mid to late 40s, and I have, notwithstanding that ripe age, experienced challenges with procrastination for as long as I can possibly remember. I had I can remember being in year 4 and purposefully losing my maths homework book because I hadn't done any homework and I didn't know how to extricate myself from that problem other than by losing my homework book purposefully behind a cupboard. And it's been a part of my life for as long as I can remember in every regard. So many aspects of my life I look back with disappointment or sadness on, and so many things I fear doing because I know that I'm going to be challenged, whether it was not quite reaching my honours qualification at university or not completing courses that I really wanted to finish and make use of. And often I would put something off for months and months and months and do it just at the last minute and then be really disappointed with everything that I'd done, or just not do it at all and let relationships or activities that I had been engaged in just drift away, and always knowing that I had done that without really wanting to. So earlier in 2018, I found Christine online when I was looking for assistance with procrastination, and I started with the month-long course looking at ways to procrastinate, and that changed everything about my experience of life at the time. And I really realized that I wasn't going to be able to make any changes on my own, and so I kept going with the membership program and doing other things to make sure that the sort of things that I had gained and was trying to work on could be continued.
Okay, lovely. Thank you for sharing those wonderful stories of the notebook, because it reminds me, I think we're all adults in the program, so we don't often talk about the really old stories inside the group, but as procrastinators, when you're really stuck, sometimes we resort to things that we would never even imagine ourselves doing because we feel so stuck. So I really appreciate your sharing that kind of story, because I think the people who might be interested in this program, we all know what that is like, and we all have tales to tell. So thank you for reminding me about that. Can you tell me how you felt, like what doubts you might have had about being able to convert yourself from a procrastinator to a non-procrastinator?
No moment where I felt confident that I was going to be able to do it. In fact, I remember starting the program and saying, I think to you, Christine, that I didn't think it was possible to actually change the way that I was approaching the world. I didn't think it was possible to do the things that even were sitting on my to-do list at that time, and that it was inconceivable that I could live in a world where I wasn't actually procrastinating on anything that happened to be in my way. And of course, procrastinating doesn't actually mean that I didn't do anything. I did many things, many of them very successfully. I just didn't do the things that I really wanted to do, or the things that I knew really needed to be done at that time. And so I could have a really fantastic working life and still not be doing what I imagined that I would do. And I didn't see that situation would ever change. So a lot of being in the program initially has been absolutely about my just moving forwards one step at a time and believing in Christine and the others that I've met in the group, that it's possible to make a change, and then actually making changes in practice.
That was lovely. I love doing these interviews because I find out so much about how you guys are thinking about the program too. Okay, let's see. What can you give maybe one or two examples of changes you have made? Those kind of small changes that have really big impact in your life?
Yeah. So there's no doubt that actually getting all of my things that I needed to do onto a to-do list using the Trello app that Christine recommended, but it could be anything really, but just having everything collected together and being able to then look at it and work through it in a way that is meaningful is a fantastic shift for me, because I think probably at one stage I had 7 to-do lists, so just having it in one place makes a big difference. And also having actually a toolbox maybe to deal with each challenge as it arises has made a big difference. So some things I can just work it through, knowing step by step that I can make a difference to that task and just deal with it. Sometimes I might need to bring that to the group and talk about it before I can do it. Probably the thing I most enjoy and the thing that's made such a difference to my being able to address particular issues has been the sprints that we do with the group, the membership group on a Saturday, because by having a little bit of time where I know that I can commit to do something no matter how much I don't want to do that task, and then coming back and talking about it, I've been able to really tackle things that I thought were personally impossible for me to deal with. So I know that no matter what, I can bring something to that group. And very often I've either done it within the time of the sprint or finished it straight after the membership call. And that is just phenomenal for dealing with the really challenging bits. And of course, every time I do something that's really difficult, it becomes easier to do other things because I feel really relieved and pleased that I've been able to take on a task, and I seem to get some energy from that. So, yeah.
Okay, great. Just to elaborate for the people who are listening, we have every weekend a little brief coaching component with me coaching the group and members helping each other in that discussion part. But then we also split off the video with the video paused so that everybody can do their own work. So that is the sprint that Diana was describing. And so everyone gets to begin their weekend feeling good and accomplished, or like they've begun to tackle what is their dreaded task, or the task that they really need to get done. So thank you for bringing that point in too. Okay, great. One last question, Diana. Thank you so much again. I want to ask, how do you feel about your future now that you've kind of had this experience and made some changes that are really important?
Yeah. So there's 2 things. There's a short-term future, which is just intense relief that I don't have to look at my work with dread anymore, and that I feel more confident about just addressing just the day-to-day bits and pieces of my life. And I think I had really lost track of or underestimated just how much that was affecting my life, to have even small tasks, even phone calls or connections with people that were really meaningful to me, not be done. So at a short-term level, it's just this feeling of capability, and at a long-term level, optimism about being able to achieve things that I never thought were going to be possible for me to do. And I haven't done them yet, but I do think that with the support that I'm getting through the group and with Christine, I can see a future where that may be actually possible. And I've never really anticipated that that was going to be something that I could enjoy. So, yeah, really optimistic.
Thank you so much. And these interviews make me want to cry every time, but in a really, really good way. I feel like for me as a host to have members like you, lovely, thoughtful, charismatic, loving, hopeful, it's just the biggest treat for me. So I want to take this moment to thank you for being a member and for really sharing your heart with me here on this video, which I really appreciate too. And I will see you as per usual, this coming Saturday, as we always meet. Okay, thank you again. You have my heart.
Thank you
Bye.
so much, Christine. Bye.